How's it going today, guys? Today we're going to be reviewing the Penn Battle 3 reels. I've had these reels a couple months since they came out, and now that's been a couple years. Caught a lot of fish on these reels, and I got a unique review coming up for you guys on these reels. With that being said, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Smash the like button on this video, and with that being said, let's get started. As we get started, just want to let you guys know reels are linked down below in the description. And that being said, let's start the review. First thing we're going to do is go over the specs on both of these reels, what I'm using them for. Then we're going to compare them and see how I feel compared to like the previous Battle 2, and how I feel they're performing and how smooth they are and all that. I'm going to go over all that in this video. So let's start with this reel right here I have in my hands. Currently have this set up for a flatline, just came back in from offshore. Have a kingfish rig set up on this. It's got a little pink and white duster, the lead J hook, and then the back stinger hook for the bait on some wire, and then that wire is obviously connected to my fluorocarbon top shot, connected to my braid. So these reels can really be used for a wide variety of situations: offshore jigging, flatlining, bottom fishing, and even some larger inshore stuff. Now this is a 6,000 size reel, so if you need a smaller reel or a larger reel, you can buy a different size reel. They come from 1,000, which you could use for like bluegill and smallmouth bass, all the way up to 10,000 to chase the monsters of the sea, like a giant bluefin tuna. So wide variety of reels available in different sizes, but in the Penn Battle 3 series. So that's great. Match the reel size to whatever you're fishing for. So obviously if you're fishing for like inshore stuff like trout and stuff like that, 4,000 size reel like the one I have next to me, or if you're doing like some little more heavy duty offshore stuff, maybe like a 8 or 10,000 size reel might be better for you. Anyways, 6,000 size reel is probably the most diverse size reel on the market, especially here in Florida. It's got the most, I guess you could say it's got the most use for it and the most variety of situations. So onto the specs of this reel. I have 30-pound braid on this currently. It's supposed to hold 490 yards. I didn't quite fill the spool all the way just because I knew I was going to be running a top shot of fluorocarbon on it. So I ended up putting it at 470, even though I feel like it very well could have held 490 yards comfortably. Puts out 25 pounds of drag, which is a pretty decent amount. It's great for bottom fishing and inshore stuff like trying to pull a big snook out of a dock or a bridge or whatever. So 25 pounds of drag is pretty good. 5.6 to 1 gear ratio. Gets 41 inches per turn on an ideal turn, obviously. So great specs on this reel for a 6,000 size reel. Very impressive. On to the other reel, the 4,000 size reel. So obviously, as you can see, I got a sabiki rig rigged up on it. Came back in from offshore. I was using this to jig up some bait. By pure accident, we caught a few squid on this sabiki rig. So that was actually a unique experience. I thought it was pretty cool. Squid is not something I normally catch here in Florida. However, if they are around, I just don't really target them. Anyways, use this rod for light inshore applications like trout, snook, redfish. Obviously you can't use it for like a tarpon, maybe like a smaller tarpon, but no big 150 pound tarpon, obviously. You can even use it for some light offshore stuff. I like to use this for mangrove snapper on a full moon and like 50-60 foot of water. I love using the 4,000 size reel. So some light offshore stuff. You can even use it if you're fishing for mahi-mahi. The pitch baits to, obviously not a 40-pound bull mahi, but like, some of the smaller mahi that you see under a weed line or a piece of debris, you can pitch a bait out to them on this reel. It's a light rod, very comfortable, and it's very well suited for that kind of fight. Obviously, like I mentioned before, different size reels are for different applications, so be sure and select the right size reel down below in the description. So this reel has 15-pound braid on it. It's Blue Power Pro braid. Puts out 15 pounds of drag and a 6.2 to 1 gear ratio. Now it gets 37 inches per turn, which is pretty decent. It's a 4,000 size reel once again. And back to what I was mentioning about the line capacity, obviously different size braids have different capacities. So you can see some of the specs on this reel. Those are pretty much, I like to call those estimates because they're not always 100% right, because it depends how thick that braid is. Like Daiwa's J braid is thinner than most braids. So of like that same test, like a 30-pound braid from Daiwa J braid would be thinner than 30-pound Diamond or Power Pro braid. Anyways, with that being said, 15-pound braid, I was able to fit about 330 yards of line on here. That was a full spool of line. Obviously, it's less than that now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about how I feel these perform. Obviously, as you can tell, these rods are pretty slick, or these reels, excuse me. These reels are very much more aggressive looking compared to the previous Penn Battle 2. Power knobs are on all the HS models, and all models of reels from the 5,000 size reel all the way up to the 10,000 size reel. However, like the 4,000 and 3,000 size reels, the smaller reels, they have just a typical knob, like you see here on this one. They're really cool looking, very aggressive, like I just mentioned. The gold and silver really looks nice. HS models are red, which also looks really cool. And these reels do get used quite a bit. They go through quite a bit of abuse being on the boat with me, and they held up really well. For their price point compared to the Daiwa BG, those two reels are the two best value spinning reels on the entire market, probably in the world as well. Really from around $100, a little more than that, to about $150. You can pretty much buy any size reel in those categories, and they're both built really well, and they're both really, really good reels. Actually, I did a review on comparing both of these reels up here, so be sure to check that out. I already did that review, so check it out if you're debating between those two reels. We compared them. I told you guys which one I thought was better, comparing them like on the drag and the smoothness. Both of these reels are very, very smooth reels, especially compared to the previous Battle 2. It's like silk compared to the previous Battle 2. They're way, way smoother. The drag system on these is better. It's a way smoother drag. It's a very durable drag system, along with being a very durable reel. You know, when I go to click the drags on these reels, it's a lot smoother than the previous Battle 2s, which is great in my applications, especially like when I'm fishing for like kingfish or Spanish mackerel, where I got to keep a light drag. And you know, I'm only adjusting the drag by just a couple clicks, maybe even just one click at a time, backwards or forwards. So being able to adjust the drag very smoothly is very important. Compared to the previous Battle 2s, I do think I like that better on these reels for sure. It's a much smoother drag, and turning the handle, you know, retrieving line, it's much smoother as well. These reels are very, very smooth. They almost compete with some of the nicer reels on the market that are much more expensive. However, any reel cheaper than this, it is like using a Penn Authority compared to like a Barbie reel, and any of those reels. So these reels beat all other reels that are cheaper than this. I have not found a better reel that is cheaper than this or the Penn or the Daiwa BG. Best reels for their price. Above that, obviously, there's nicer reels, obviously. Believe me, Penn would not make the Battle 3 its best reel and then put out an Authority, which is 3 times the price. So, with that being said, really enjoyed using these reels. Caught quite a few fish on these. One thing I do want to point out is these dust caps. I don't know why, but for some reason on my 2 Battle 3 6,000 size reels, they have fallen off on each reel once already, on 2 reels. So I don't know if that was just the person using them that day. I noticed it was on the same trip, so it could have been that, or I don't know if it's maybe just the rod. However, I do keep 2 extra dust caps just in case these fall off. I don't want water or dust to be going in here, especially salt water. So I have 2 extra dust caps that I keep on hand for these reels. That's the only thing I want to mention about these reels that was kind of negative. So, but that's not really too bad. It could have just been the user. But anyways, with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and smash the like button on this video. Really appreciate it. It helps get out to more people. Costs nothing and helps me out a lot. With that being said, thanks for watching, and until next time.